The current state of the peace process in Northern Ireland is, on the one hand, we have a political settlement and we have an operating executive and assembly. But apart from that, there are major issues at community level that have not been dealt with and are not being dealt with in an effective way. First of all, addressing the deep sectarian divide, but also the whole issue of dealing with the past.
Atlantic's been involved in grant making in Northern Ireland since the late 1990s, and obviously in relation to a divided society, an important part of doing any grant making was to try to address the big issues around the conflict. So our interest then has been around supporting human rights in Northern Ireland in order to cement the peace and to have a peace that's based on equality and justice and the protection of human rights for those that really need it most. Because our assessment is that there's a danger that those voices and those most at the margins don't actually feel the benefits of the peace. Northern Ireland, I think, has made great progress on many fronts, but I think that there is still work that needs to be done. So Human Rights Fund is about completing the work that needs to be done.
It's very important to establish a human rights fund for a number of reasons. First of all, what we had was a political settlement, but what we missed on was almost a new social contract in terms of the state and society. And what we need is for that sort of social contract to pick up the aspirational aspects of the Good Friday Agreement, like the commitment to rights, like the commitment to equality, like the commitment to challenge sectarian divisions, and to support community development and indeed the advancement of women.
We feel that there is unfinished business in relation to issues of the past, unfinished business in terms of how do you really address inequality in this society, how do you address issues of structural inequality and disadvantage.
What we intend the Human Rights Fund to do is, first of all, to consolidate the expertise and the knowledge of a designated number of organisations that have a long track record in terms of advocating around rights and social justice issues. But secondly, actually framing their work in such a way that will enable them to cooperate and collaborate and actually pool their knowledge and expertise in terms of seeking to achieve a culture of rights and indeed the Bill of Rights for Northern Ireland.
Groups that will be supported under the Human Rights Fund have very distinct capabilities and have been very successful in their own areas. The structure of the fund will mean that there'll be a sharing of the expertise, because working together and collaborating together makes for better rights protections.
My vision of Northern Ireland 10 years hence is a Northern Ireland that is more inclusive in terms not only of people from different religious backgrounds, but broader in terms of new immigrant communities, people of different ethnicity, of different race and identity issues. But also that is a Northern Ireland that is inclusive in terms of not having alienated, marginalised communities, or indeed groups that we have at the moment, and that has an agreed baseline in terms of rights and equality, essentially respect for human dignity.
Because human rights are for everybody. There's a universality associated with human rights. And in a divided society like Northern Ireland, where rights tend to be viewed as being belonging to one community or another, my experience is that that's actually not the case. And we need to really lift that argument up and demonstrate really clearly that rights are universal and that they're for everyone.